Hi guys, my name is Zsolt Vincze. I'm coming from Budapest, Hungary. I'm a father of two beautiful girls. I have a bachelor degree in multimedia. Besides Hungarian and English, I speak French and Spanish. I've been a competitive snowboarder for over 10 years, and recently I just finished the tour of Australia with a stage comedy act, being the supporting actor. I've done many different jobs in my life. I used to work in the casinos in Budapest and on the cruise ships sailing out of Los Angeles and Miami. I used to be the business development manager for Europe's largest electronic casino company, and I used to run my own internet cafe in Cozumel, Mexico. And I used to play in TV commercials. At present, I'm a co-owner of a fun casino hiring business. I'm dying to get this opportunity, as I'm a die-hard Harley Davidson fan since I was a young boy, and I planned my dream European trip before, which had to be postponed. This is the greatest opportunity of my life, and I love to be part of this trip, so please take me on. The dream ride I would like to do in Europe is the dream ride I was planning to do with my bike rider mate Robert after finishing to work on the cruise ships. However, my first daughter was on her way when I left cruise ship, so a big dream trip had to be postponed. Unfortunately, Robert had a fatal scuba diving accident a few years later, so a big dream ended. However, I never give up on this dream. My dream trip in Europe would follow the coastlines of Europe, starting in Croatia from Opatija at the top of the Istria Peninsula, riding around the peninsula and heading towards Trieste in northern Italy. From Trieste, I would ride all the way down to Lecce, in the south of the Italian boot, following the Adriatic coastline. After crossing over to the west coast of the boot, I would take the ferry over to Sicily for a spin around the island. Then I would like to head north on the Mediterranean coast of Italy, heading to southern France, staying on the coastline, heading towards Spain, and try to time it to arrive a day when Barcelona is playing at home to see my favorite team in action, of course after my working hours. My trip would keep following the Spanish coastline into Portugal, heading towards northwest of Spain on the Atlantic coast, then heading back to France on the Atlantic coastline. I keep following the coastline through Belgium, the Netherlands and Germany. I would head north on the Danish peninsula and turn back to the south on the top of Denmark, heading to Berlin by driving through many of Germany's national parks. The trip would touch Prague and Vienna, then heading to the coast of Lake Balaton in Hungary and finishing the journey in my hometown Budapest. I have a great passion for motorcycles and especially for Harleys. My passion was so strong that when I was 19 I bought a motorcycle without knowing how to ride one and having a motorcycle license. Only sat on bikes on the back seat before. In 1989 the communist regime just finished in Hungary, so 90% of the motorcycles I could bought in Hungary came from the Eastern European market. I didn't want any of those bikes, so I teamed up with a girl from work who wanted to buy a Vespa. We hired a large trailer and took her father's 20-year-old car, and we headed to Trieste in Italy for motorcycle shopping. She got her Vespa and I got my very first motorcycle, a 125cc Cagiva Enduro. When we got back to Hungary, my best friend taught me how to ride a motorcycle. My passion grew even bigger, so 3 years later I bought my very first cruiser, a Honda Magna 700. That was a dream bike. Of course, the second best after Harley, as I couldn't afford a Harley. That stage my passion went to the extremes. I stopped doing things. I stopped to do sports. I barely eaten, only met friends briefly, and when I met somebody I was in the rush to get back to my bike to see somebody else, but only briefly. I had to sit on my motorcycle constantly, and all that without a motorcycle license, risking a lot. Luckily I became mature and got my motorcycle license, and right now my 12-year-old daughter wants to ride a Harley when she grows up. Here are some photos to share from my past. This one from the beginnings of my passion for motorcycles. And these photos are from my best trip ever so far, my Harley Davidson trip around Florida with 2 mates. My next big trip was in Central America on dirt bikes. This is my Honda Magna in 1992. These photos are from my Vespa trip around Lake Balaton in Hungary. And this is one of the bikes I used to be a passenger on when I was a kid. And finally I had a chance to be in the rider's seat. I believe I'm the perfect candidate to be the rider and the ambassador for the 2015 campaign. I have a great passion for Harleys and riding Harleys. I have 25 years of experience riding motorcycles, including Harleys. I've done long trips on highways, small country roads and dangerous dirt roads. I'm doing all sorts of exercises 5 days a week, so physically and mentally I'm fit to handle the long hours on the roads. I'm highly skilled on social media platforms through my university studies and promoting my businesses. As a result of my extended travels, I'm connected to over 500 friends via Facebook globally. My language skills with 4 languages are always extremely helpful at any travel. Besides all this, I'm really easygoing and a cool guy. So could you just pick me, please?